Kia ora, and welcome to the Power of Yin conversation. This time that we're in, we're being asked to go into our being energy. So the quality of being is yin in contrast to the action of doing. Yin is an inward pulling energy, so it's more like the moon in contrast to the sun, which is yang. Yang is an outward moving energy. So the sun's rays go out. Whereas the moon is an energy, it's in pulling. So you look up to the moon. We look up to the moon. It's magnetic. It's alluring. It invites us to go in to itself. We can gaze at the moon for a long time. We can get lost in that energy. So there's a quality in life that's about being. It's a stillness. It's a calm, it's a quiet, it's a slow energy in contrast to the busy, fast, active, stimulating energy of yang. So at this time on our planet, if we look at it from the point of view of an inside transition, we can see that we're being invited to go into that quality of being. We have the opportunity to explore the quality of being. The world and all the activities of the world, the external world, have all slowed down. So that slowing down energy is affecting all of us in different ways. Some people, the slow down is a real delight. It's like, chance to have a rest. Chance to lie in bed a bit longer. Chance to be with my kids and really listen to what they're saying. Chance to listen to myself. All right, so we have this inner life. The life of our thoughts, our hopes, our dreams, our beliefs, our feelings, our longings, our yearnings, our deep desires. That's an inner world that we live in. And the inner world that we inhabit is the reference point for how we perceive the outer world. And it wasn't until just this Christmas gone, one of our family members is a psychologist, and I was saying, most people don't have language for their inner life. And she said, some people don't even have an inner life. I was like, oh my God, really? It didn't occur to me, because I'm such a naturally reflective person. Like, I have a lot of time alone. I experience a lot of solitude. I have a lot of times of just quiet mind. It's something I've cultivated for many years. So I'm very familiar with my inner dialogue. I'm very familiar with what's most important to me. And I aim to live by that. And this year I've been really waking up to how many of us are living in this world as though the outer world rules us. So right now, if we watch a lot of TV, if we read a lot of news, if we listen to all the stories of people outside of our bubble, outside of our immediate reality, then we are really identifying with the idea of life is scary right now. People are dying. You can get infected if you go out and go to the shops and touch people, so stay away. So there's this outer world narrative that's all about stay away from each other. Watch out. This thing can kill you. It's killing people everywhere. So if you have an inner world reality that's quite fearful based, then you'll be really worried about this. You'll be thinking all the time about, wonder if it's going to get me. What about my kids? It's going to kill me. It's going to kill my kids. So we connect to the outer world through our thoughts and our thinking. So if we believe that the outer world is the dominant reality, then we are identifying with somebody else having the power to rule our world. Because if we bring it back to our power to rule our own world by how we think about what's happening in our world, we start to realize, actually, I rule my world with how I think about what happens outside of me. Something to ponder. And in quantum field theory and quantum science and in Indigenous worlds views and in all the ancient wisdom teaching traditions, there's this recognition there's only one energy at work. Everything's connected. All things in nature are connected. They all rely on each other. Things in the life of nature shows us the interconnections of life. And I believe one of the reasons why nature has been involved in this correction is she's showing us how these interconnections exist and how it's important that we stop and realize everything's connected. Right now we're being given the opportunity to recognize everything's connected to everything else. So how do we engage the energy of connection? Like, how do we bring that to life in our own worlds? I think for me, there's different ways, but for me it's start with our own realization that I'm the generator, I'm the creator of my world by how I think about it. So if I'm more connected to my inner world of what's really important to me, of what I really value, of how I feel, of how I think, if I'm connected to the recognition that all those energies combined generate my response to the outer world, then I can start to take charge of how that outer world influences me. And ultimately I can take charge of the outer world I create for myself. So in quantum science we know that the observer and the quality of how we observe life and experience generates an experience. So if I observe this time as a chance to slow down, as a chance to reset, as a time to re-engage with the people who I love the most, as a chance to look at the possibility that my whole life is about to change, and what is it that I want to change? What is it that I want to let go of? What is it in my life that no longer serves me that I need to let go of? It's holding me back. And this can be beliefs, this can be relationships, this can be circumstances that are old energies. They don't belong to who I am now. They don't belong to what's important to me, but I'm continuing to access them as though that's my reality. So to let go of old realities that are no longer serving us, to get focused on current reality, like what's actually happening in my life, what's happening in my little bubble, what's my relationship like to myself? Do I nurture myself with how I think about myself? Do I accept myself? Do I love myself? Am I kind to myself? Or am I always criticizing myself? Am I always beating up on who I am? Do I accept the people I love? Am I kind to the people I love? Do I nurture them? Do I give my best to them? Do I engage with the truth of who they are and the truth of who I am? Am I connected in that way? Are we relating in that way? So that honest, truthful, loving, kind connection to ourselves and our loved ones, if we can extend that out to a wider world, then we start to bring out honest, truthful, loving, whole, healthy, nurturing relationships to what goes on outside of us. Because our inside life generates that outside world, not the other way around. The outside world is happening. And I heard on the news this morning about how one of the world leaders is currently very, very unwell. And if I continued to think about that throughout the day, I could get really worried and fearful and afraid. And yet, if I continue to stay focused on my capacity to lead my life and own the authority to rule my life, my energy comes up. If I'm worried about what's happening elsewhere, my energy can come down. So keeping our energy high, keeping our vibrations light and clear and open through this time will enable us to engage the lighter possibilities, the healing opportunities that are available in this time. Because when things are changing and being rearranged, our patterns are getting loosened up, and the stuff that no longer serves us, we can drop it off more easily, and the new things that we want to embrace, we can get into them more easily. So questions to ask yourself right now is, what am I letting go of? What's no longer serving me? My relationship to myself, to my being nature? Do I have a relationship to my being nature? Do I have a relationship to being quiet, being inside myself, nurturing myself? And what about my relationships to other people? Do I nourish those relationships by fully being with them, like bringing my presence and my listening and my honoring and my respect? Do I bring those energies into those relationships with others? Because if I bring my being presence, which is a yin energy, into relationship with others, the relationship gets richer and fuller. It just happens by itself. Just try it and see. And then if I bring my being presence, just being awake, aware, and watching and open into how I'm engaging with the outer world, I will know how to relate to that outer world as it changes, simply by stepping it out and stepping it through. Living step by step through this time is the medicine. We don't know where this is leading us. So in that way, we're in the mystery, which is a yin energy. It can seem dark, it can seem scary. We can pull back and feel afraid of the dark and the scary. Or we can open up a little and realize ultimately life is a mystery. There's so many unknowns that we will face every day, and we have been facing every day. And when we open up to that truth, then we'll realize we can do this in a healthy, transformative, healing way just by opening up to the possibilities and opportunities available. This is a time that's loaded with potential. Keeping our vibes high, keeping very present with ourselves and others, nourishing that quality of being. Being is about presence. Being is a holding space. If we're in that energy and we're looking out on that outside world, we'll see it very, very differently. Happy full moon. May the peace of your own being come forward to greet you in this next couple of weeks. And you can find that peace just by going inside a little bit, doing a little deep breathing, lying down on the earth, feeling the support and the being nature of the earth, and uploading that into your sense of yourself. Mama Earth is refreshing and rejuvenating herself through this time. Mama Earth is yin. She knows how to self-nurture. And so do we. Kia ora. Take care.